Hi, welcome to episode 41 of Not Enough Thumbs. Today we are reviewing The Illusionist from 2006. And our sponsor for today's episode is Hitbox Fitness.
So this is one of my favorite movies with Edward Norton. It also features Jessica Biel and Paul Giamatti, all very good actors. And I like the setting of this film. It's in a quiet town, and you have the great Eisenheim performing what looks to be impossible illusions. And so that is his appeal to the rest of the crowd. He is just shrouded in mystery, and everybody is just in awe of the things that he does.
So much so that the authorities can't stand him and want to do everything they can to ruin him.
What was his title? I can't remember the guy. I mean, he's a well-known actor also, but he could not stand this guy, and he was determined to expose all of his illusions. Make
him look like a fraud in front of everyone.
Yeah, and so he brought him to a private party, and he was the featured guest, and so
along with the Crown Prince.
That's who it was. The Crown Prince was the one that didn't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he ended up making a fool of himself just because everybody simply wanted to enjoy the show, but he couldn't have it. And he was in this Jessica Biel and Edward Norton's character were childhood friends. And then
that had been separated because of status.
Yes.
He was poor, low life, low class. She was upper class, highfalutin. And it just is a turn of the century kind of.
It's like Jack Dawson and Rose.
Yeah. So they were just, it was not accepted to associate with the lower class.
Yeah. And so that's when they were perhaps 10 years old, and then so 10 to 15 years later they end up crossing paths again, and she is in this relationship that appears to be forced with the Crown Prince. Yeah, she's clearly not happy, but she recognizes when he comes in. She recognizes him when he comes into town, and they meet in secret, and then they continue those meetups. I believe
they do.
Yeah.
And had plans to get her away from the Crown Prince. And so where she just disappears.
Yeah. And then Paul Giamatti is the law in this movie, and
the guard for the Crown Prince, I think.
I think so, yeah.
His main security
the detective guy.
Mm-hmm.
And because the magic tricks were so provocative, he got the attention from this guy, and his job was essentially to find something wrong with him so that they would have something to go after him for.
But he was too good.
Yeah, he was pretty crafty, and you later find out at the end of the movie that he had orchestrated this grand illusion, really. So that he and the love of his life could escape to a quiet place on their own. And then it was at the end of the movie where it shows that Paul Giamatti's character kind of pieces everything together.
Yeah. He ends up, and then the illusionist ends up succeeding in his attempts to get her away from the scene, and fakes her death even.
That's right.
In the process, but
in a Romeo and Juliet kind of way, because it was
fake.
She had him drink something that knocked her out temporarily and made her appear dead. Yeah,
and then he was able to get her out of there.
Yeah,
and they went off into the sunset.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was very entertaining. Sometimes turn of the century movies can get really boring. This one kind of started slow, but it picked up pretty well, and it kept your attention, and it kept you wondering what was going to happen and if anybody was going to find out how he does the things that he does. And I mean, he did so well with his illusions that you thought he has to have some sort of magic to him, because he's just flawless, and he was levitating people, and he was
making them like holograms.
Making them holographic almost. Yeah, like they were in a puff of smoke.
Like a ghost, I guess.
Very strange. Very strange. Very entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
So you grow to really dislike the Crown Prince.
Yes.
And you're strongly advocating for the Illusionist. And even for the detective.
Yes.
Because he's not really a bad guy. He's just trying to do his job.
By the end, he sees the true talent of
he does
of the Illusionist.
He starts clapping, actually.
He does.
He starts clapping.
He got the journal of all how he does everything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he left in the book. Yep. It's one of my favorite, not that there's that many magic movies that I can think of, but I like Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Of course, he was from Fight Club, and
that's one we need to review.
Yeah. I also know him from, I think, the movie called The Score, that with Robert De Niro, where they were skilled thieves. Yeah, he's a good actor. I like him. Paul Giamatti is really good too.
Yeah, I would probably rate it an 8.
I gave it an 8 as well. It's worth seeing.
All right, so there's our take on The Illusionist from 2006. So let us know if you've seen it, if you like it, if you didn't like it. We'd love to hear from you. So leave us a note in the comments and let us know.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.